Hi everyone, how are you doing? It is Wednesday and welcome to Mini Mayhem with me, Vee Mus'e. I am so excited for today because we're going to be tapping into things that I adore working with, and that is going to be scatter and terrain. And we're going to be looking at some great sets from WizKids with the 4D settings. Now, please let me know in the chat, because I see we have some wonderful viewers already. Please let me know in the chat if you need any audio tweaked, if the music's a little bit too loud or something like that. I will be happy to accommodate you in that one. But while you're here, I'm gonna do the whole YouTuber thing. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. I just noticed that we're actually almost to 9,000 subscribers, which is a very exciting time for the WizKids YouTube channel. So if you haven't done that yet, would absolutely very much appreciate it if you could just, click that little button, super easy. And it also helps if you want to know when we're doing these live streams or when videos are uploaded to click that notification bell, just bing. It's very simple, very straightforward. And once that's done, you're good and ready to go, basically is how it works. But I'm seeing some familiar names. Hello, Leonardo, good to see you. Hello, Daniel, also for jumping into the chat. If you have any questions at all today while I am working on some various things, please be sure you type in all caps question and then your question following. That helps me better see your question. So if the chat's zipping along there, I'll be able to notice someone has a question for me. So just keep that in mind. If something has caught your attention, you want some more information, I'm going to do my very best to answer those questions for you. If I'm not sure of the exact answer, I will look into it and get back to you on that later on in another stream. And hello, Dwight. Thanks for joining too. It's good to see your name in there as well. So today is all about WizKids, that's a new one. WizKids 4D settings. I have a few sets I want to show you first, and then we're going to regroup and look into working with the WarLock tiles, because there's something else that's come for the tiles that I'm very excited to share with all of you, and I wanted to show you how it works in comparison to what's already out there. So that's sort of the game plan for today, and if there's time, I thought maybe we could have some fun and sort of create a room together using some of these WarLock tiles too. So that being said, I have 4 sets over here that I thought would be fun to show everyone, because these are sets that not only are great for those of you who use terrain in general, they also work really well with the WarLock tile system. So I thought it'd be great to give you a heads up that these sets are out there. Some of them are already released, so you can contact your FLGS. We always encourage contact your FLGS, friendly local game store, if you're not familiar with that acronym, and let them know that you saw this set on Mini Mayhem and you want to place an order with them. I have made sure in the description below that there are SKUs as well as suggested retail prices for you, so you know about how much it's going to be. Sometimes it can vary because stores might have promotions and things like that, which is why it's always good to contact them. If FLGS is not an option, well then by all means, please check it out online. Again, there are links down below to the shop.wizkids.com as well as the Amazon option. And let's see here. Oh, I'm doing very well, Leonardo. Thank you for asking. And hello, Jake. And oh my gosh, all these lovely people. Hello, big bearded nerd. The boss is here. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you, this is a set that has been out there. Again, it's the 4D settings, and it's sort of an interesting take because it's not the typical D&D Pathfinder-esque type campaign settings that you would expect. This is actually the gas station. I don't know if you have seen this yet, but the reason why I wanted to pull this one out and show it for you all is because we have games like Gaslands as well as Call of Cthulhu that have more of a modern influence to it. So if you're running games and you want to create a terrain that has that reflection of, hey, maybe they're in their car and they're stopping at the station, or it's Gaslands, and basically setting the scene, this set is absolutely super duper helpful for it. And this is one of those things where it is going for, hold on, I need to look at my crib notes because there's different pricing. This one I believe is the one that is $59.99, and yes, that is what it is. So this one's suggested for $59.99, but you get a lot of really great components in this box. So I'm going to go to overhead mode so you can get a better look at this. Heads up, I do have autofocus going on both the camera that's on me and the overhead camera, because working with the tiles, I realized trying to toggle back and forth with focus is going to be a nightmare. But this is what you get in the packaging, the very clean, crisp 4D settings. The back of the packaging has the list of everything you can expect, as well as a rundown of it and photos. So you can see what I mean, how it has this more modern feel to it. You have your pumps, you have things like tires, your oil bins, and ice. I thought the ice and the soda dispenser thing was perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I have my handy dandy sword letter opener. I'm gonna open this up and take it out of the box so you can see these a little bit more closely. And we pull this out away from the microphone. So here are these minis, a little bit more up close for you in the blister. And I will take out one of the pumps and a couple of the other things so you can see them in better detail. But again, if you're running more modern timeline type of games, this set is great for one of those. I mean, I'm seeing this as sort of a spooky night, driving in the car, your party is exploring things, they stop at the gas station and, you know, zombies or something. You know what I'm talking about? So really fantastic set for this. I'm gonna pop out one of the pumps so you can see the pump better. Gasoline. So you see you have gasoline on the front, and this is where the autofocus, I need you to play nice. Hold on. No, it doesn't want to do this. So here we have gasoline, as you can see. It has your options. What are you going to get? Leaded, unleaded, all that goodness. And I think the problem is it wants to focus there. Let's try that. Better, we behaving? There we go. You can see it has your different button options there. You have the gas pump itself. Play nice. I may have to go to manual toggling while we're going through this part. But that's what one of the gas pumps looks like. And you have it on both sides, which I think is good as well. It's not just you have to lean up against one thing or it's only the one-sided situation, because sometimes that can get a little old really fast. And I'm just going to flip quickly to get it so that I can switch off auto. Bye-bye, auto. And then I can better, there we go. I like that. I like that way much. Okay, so hello, Mike Hawkins. How are you? And hello, Shinobi Wizard. Good to see you here. So here we go. This gives you a better view. We're going to keep doing this way. So here you have the gasoline, like I said, all your little options here. So this is good for one of those setups, I'd say anywhere from like the 1940s-ish, maybe 1930s, onto modern times. So that's one of the gas pumps. I made out the barrels. So here are one of the barrel sets, and it's a grouping of 3. You can see you have the popped open lids. Great metallic detail. It even has that worn look to the metal, which I'm a fan of. They're not like pristine, perfect, shiny metal. It looks like something that has been sitting outside. Maybe had a car back into it. All of that goodness. And pardon the Sharpie marker stain. If that's distracting, my apologies. But, you know, life. So that's the barrels. And then let me show you the ice machine, because I thought this one was a great little detail, and I'll show you why. So here's the ice machine. And look, you have, because you've seen this, like when you've stopped at gas stations and the ones that sit outside all the time. Look at, you've got that lovely little rusting detail underneath the door, but even better, it opens. Like, it's just those extra touches that really make this far more immersive for when you're playing your game. I mean, you could even feasibly put something in there. What you choose to put into the ice machine, completely up to you. Like I said, Call of Cthulhu, Gaslands, some of the other great zombie RPGs that are out there right now. Just saying. So there's that. And then what else looked really cool? Oh yes, the sign itself. There's a fantastic sign, which is very loud. Okay, here we go. So here is the sign. And it's the same on both sides, but it's solid. So you can put it down and it'll stay on that table nicely. And when it goes to do the WarLock Tile stuff, I'll make sure we refocus. But right now I want you to see these minis a little bit more up close and personal. You even get the details like the rivets in the top here to secure the post down. And like I said, there's this weathering look. You have that ding in the one pillar. Truly, it's like walking up to those old gas stations and having all those little nuances of wear and tear. And it definitely has that mom and pops feel. Oh, Mike Hawkins, those will be good for the new HeroClix stuff. That is true. It also will be great for the HeroClix stuff that is coming out as well. So that is the gas station set from our 4D settings. Again, $59.99, already out. Contact your FLGS, not an option. Check the links below and you can place an order for yourself there. So that's the first one. Ugh, as I slowly start to barricade myself in. The next one I wanted to show you is the Homestead. And let me flip this back up so you get the full effect here. So here is the Homestead. And this is one that's a little bit more universal because you could very easily put this into Dungeons & Dragons Pathfinder for sort of a farmer cottage encounter. But because of the look of this, it carries through even into more modern day settings, which is why I wanted to have this one come up next for you to see. And I'm just checking the chat quickly to see if we have any questions here. Not that I'm seeing. So let me get this one out. Did I open up this one ahead of time? I did. So this one I opened up ahead of time. And I will show you a couple of these pieces because there are some in here that I think are really good to get a look at, especially, again, for the terrain setup and builds going on here. So here's your blister. I'm going to set this on the table, and I'm going to pop out first the cabin. I'm always torn whether I should have these out ahead of time and just show you the box, or do this very loud part. If you have a preference, do let me know in the chat below because I definitely like to take into account what you like. Oh, you ordered 2 cases of this new Spider-Man set is very, very intricately. I'm honestly like I appreciate the details that have gone into many of those characters. Let's put it that way. So here you have the log cabin from the Homestead, and you have the fantastic wood texture, as well as these little details of the supports coming back out of the front and along the sides. It's more of a log roof for the feel here. Gives you a look at the back. The bottom even has wood slats. Even the bottom is paid attention to in this. And again, weathered look to the finish, so it doesn't look like a pristine build. But here, I think, is one of the best features. You can pop it off, and look, you have that space to work within. Now, granted, it is a smaller space, and there is that hint, and like the WarLock tiles have, there is that wood floor with a nod to the grid. So you get 4 squares within this cabin. There's 1, 2, there's 3, 4. And the door, which is taped from the inside, also opens up. So it has a lot of functionality to it. You could very easily pop a farmer and a bed and maybe, you know, a chest or something in here to set the scene for an encounter with him. Or, you know, maybe it's an abandoned farm. Maybe there's the big baddie or a monster of some sort lurking inside that your players are going to find. But that is the log cabin from the Homestead set, which I think has some fun touches to that. Along with that, you have a lean-to, which I also want to show you. Provided I can get this out without making everyone go deaf. Here we go. So here is the lean-to. Same thing. You have the wood grain details. You have the crossbar of the 2 logs. This is the front. You even have, look at this, the nails, or I think it's more plugs in this case because they're wood. And you see you have the crossbeam coming through there. The door also is an open close. Actually, both ways will open and close. And just like the log cabin, the top comes off so you could stage once again inside what's happening here. And you have these interesting details like the shelf unit that's put onto the back wall. This is what the back of it looks like. Just look at that texture. It's the texture that I like to see, especially in miniatures like this. So you even get it with the crossbeam here. All that great wood grain detail. Freshly stripped bark look, which is great. So that is the lean-to from the Homestead. Oh, a potbelly stove. I just saw that, Joseph. That is a very good suggestion. You know, I like that idea. Potbelly stove. That's kind of like lock that away for an idea. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely have some fun with a West Texas, as the big bearded nerd is mentioning, with a Call of Cthulhu sort of like farm out in the middle of nowhere, creepiness, eerie night, so on and so forth. And let me just pull this up a little closer so you can see the other bits that do come in this package, because I want to make sure we have enough time for WarLock as well. You even have little bitty things in here like the chickens and sacks of grain. So it's all these little extra touches that are really going to help set the scene. You have the wheelbarrow, there's a trough, obviously the horse, a well, and the well has water effect in it. So see, it has that nice transparency. So this is another one of those sets where if you want the ability to sort of play between both fantasy setting or modern settings, I would highly recommend this one. This one is $39.99, already out. FLGS, let them know. Let me put this to the side. Let them know you're interested in it and place your order with them, or not an option, check out online. We have a shop.wizkids.com. We also have the Amazon links in the description. And I know I repeat myself a lot, but in case someone else is jumping in after I've said this, just to make sure they hear that as well. Then we're going to shift over. This one definitely is another, again, Call of Cthulhu-esque, depending on summoning factors, or if it's one of those things where you are, again, in more of a fantasy realm. And here we have the pools and pillars. This also comes in an unpainted version for those of you who are mini painters and want to be able to paint this and customize it to your own particular aesthetic. But this is the pre-painted version. Another $39.99. Noticing a trend? So it's another $39.99 out already. But it's another one that has these fantastic little accent pieces that help create a scene for you. So I'm going to, I like my new, do you like this one? Look at, it's the sword. So I'm gonna pop this open as well, so we can take a closer look here. And let me go to overhead again. And in this, you literally get pools and pillars. I mean, it says it in the name. So let's take a look here. Bring this up for a closer look. You can see you have these 4 pillars. Some rubble for torches, pennants. The stag head cracks me up. Just those little extra bits. And then you have your pools up here. So I'll take the pillars out as well as the pools, so you can see those a little bit closer. Oh, and thank you, Mike. It's lovely to be back on, quite frankly. So here we have the pool, we have a pillar. What else did I want to take out here? Oh, I did want to show you this one, this lovely little bit, and there we go. So let's set this to the side. So let's first, just to make sure the camera doesn't get feisty. So here is what one of the pillars look like. Let me shift, there we go. And as you can see here, you have not only the texture of the stone, the divots and the raised portions and sort of the chipped off corners, you also have the different size stone, really giving it that older build look. And the top of the pillars are finished as well as the bottom. You do get the little logo information on the bottom here, which is 2018 WizKids right there for you. And even here, I want you to see this part. Yoink. There we go. You can see how you have the edging and the tapering going on between the different levels here. So you get 4 of these columns, and I really, truly well made. They have a good weight to them. You know how I am. I like it when I can pick up a mini and I can feel it in my hand. If it feels like I'm holding a feather, not so much. These have some heft to them. That means when you go to put these onto your table, they're going to be nice and stable on the table. Did not mean to rhyme that, but hey. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But when it's something where you're getting your terrain set up, my right is my left is my right. When you're getting your terrain set up, and I know what's happened to me when I've gone to set scenes to run as a DM. If you have that lighter piece and you hit the table, right, over it goes. These have that heft, so they have that nice balance. They are more stable is basically what I'm saying. But you can see nicely textured, nicely weathered. Great detail in that one. Here is a more detailed pool. And look at this. You have that lovely, waggle my fingers underneath so you can see. You have this great detail underneath with that transparent plastic. It's tinted blue, which you're kind of be able to pick up here. There we go, on the edges. You can see that it's a slight tint blue. It's not like Caribbean blue, but again, to nod to the water effect. And you have these 2 glowering gargoyles, as well as the flame detail in the center. This is where I said, like, it'd be great for Call of Cthulhu if there's sort of like a sacrificial thing happening. Maybe the old one rises from the pool. This is where my mind's already like running on different encounters of what could be done here using these pieces. So there's that front and even through the back. And like the pillars, you have the texture of the stone in there. You have musculature in the gargoyle statues. And the flame itself is another one of those plastic bits where light will play through it because it's smaller, so it's really harder to show off here. But it's that transparent plastic, so light will play through it a little bit more and have it sort of glow on its own because of that. So there's that pool. It is a beautiful set, Mike Hawkins. Absolutely. This is honestly one of my more favored sets, and I'm even trying to think of a way to sort of incorporate it into an encounter. Now here is one of the 3 standard pools. Same thing with the plastic like the other one. And you have more of the stone work around it. I want to make sure you're catching all of this detail. Just like little details like that. And you can see there's that bit of stone. Almost like you can see where the chisel to break the stone apart was. But that's what one of those pools look like. And here is that bit of rubble. So it's basically a fallen column when all is said and done. So you could very easily have like this circle of columns set up, your pool in the center, and really get that spooky, eerie theme going for your scene on your table. Sort of like ancient temple, ancient ruins, everything like that. And again, it's one of those cross pieces. You can use it for fantasy terrain. You can also use it for more modern things because, you know, cultists, they get up to weird things. And I swear if YouTube dings me for saying cultists, YouTube, be nice. So there's that piece from that. So those are the ones I really wanted to make sure to highlight for you and see those as well. So that is pools and pillars. Again, check the description. That is all there for you. Actually, I want to take out one of the torches too, because I think the torches are fantastic. And they actually lock into, hold on, I'll show you. So I have the column back in hand for a reason. So here is the torch, one of the torches, clear. There we go. You can see my nail moving behind it. So you can see the light will play through. Nice middle detail. And then if you really want to amp up your columns, you'll see there is this keyhole here. Pardon the cat hair. One of them was helping me set up today. So you can see this keyhole here, and on the back of the torch, you have this post. All you need to do is press it into place. And now your column has the torch on it. And it looks really sharp. The details on it are just wonderful. So that's what it looks like with one of the torches attached. And then, you know what, while we're at it, oh, let's just get one of those pendants. We'll do one of the pendants too, because it's a similar concept. So here's one of these red pendants. You have the great folds in the fabric. And you know me with my fabrics and minis. When the texture is there, big thumbs up. The gas station set is called the gas station. Very simple. 4D settings gas station. All right, so same thing. We have the keyhole and the post. And then it's just a matter of lining them up, pressing it in, and now, ta-dam! Bit of a different look for the column. So already that gives your columns 3 different permutations in and of itself. Maybe even arguably 4, because you could do ruined columns, and a couple of them are toppled over with the other piece. But that's the pools and pillars set. All right, very good set. And if you want to, pardon my leaning over and getting softer, if you want to do this yourself and paint it, there is an unpainted version of this. I'll have to look up the SKU and plug that into the description, but just heads up for those of you who enjoy painting and getting your own terrain customized, by all means, check that out too. And that is going to bring us to the last one. Now, this is one that isn't out yet, so it is available for pre-order. Keep that in mind. It will be coming out next week on the 23rd. And this is another one that I feel is going to be great, especially if you're running Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder, because of what's in this one. This one is called the Encampment Set, all right? Again, the 4D settings line. Let me go this way so I'm not covering my voice. But this just gives you a sneak peek. And some of these pieces, again, arguably could be used in more modern themed encounters as well. Maybe not all of them. And you'll see why. So let me, did I open you ahead of time? I did not. So let me quickly slip that open so you can get a closer look at these miniatures in this set. So let me slide this out. And when you open up this box, it actually comes in 2 levels. And this is another $39.99, I believe. Let me check. Yes, $39.99. So when you open it up, it's actually 2 layers of blister, 1 and 2. Okay, so you can see through here. And there's a lot of little items in this one. So keep that in mind. There's those little extra touches that I think you'll enjoy seeing. So what I'm going to do is, like I did before, I'm going to pull out a few of these pieces so you can see them a little bit more up close and personal. But first thing out is going to be one of the tents. Yeah. So here you have one of the tents, and they all look like this, but you have the support post in the front. The tent flaps are open. Does this one come unpainted? No, this one doesn't. Joseph, do you mean this particular set? Let me know which set you want to know comes unpainted. But this is the encampment, and you can see it's worn fabric. You even have the little starting tears going on here, the folds, the draping. The back is the flaps closed up. And there it is, the underside as well. More weathering. I like this mildewy effect that's happening inside too. It definitely looks like something that's been used well, whether it's in battle or whether it's just sort of a set up camp for a while in a certain location. That's one of the tents from this. And I need to take a sip of tea. I'm sorry, but you know, my allergies are bugging me. I'm not sipping the tea to you know, not spreading the tea, but sipping the tea. Okay, that's better. So that is I was gonna say that's the tea. No, that's the tent. Close. Now I want to take the card out for you because I really am enjoying the details on this one. So this is the card that comes included with this. And just right off the bat, look at the details of these wheels. You can see wooden wheels. So we have the cross beam, we have the wood shaped into a circle, and then the metal band around it. And then if you look inside, or look into the card itself, you can see, if I can get the light to play nicely with me, you can see that wood grain detail going through the slats, as well as on your handles and the crossbar. And even the crossbar has the lashing, the rope lashings going around it. All these little extra details to really bring out and enhance the details and the setting that you're going to create. So that's the cart, which I am a very big thumbs up on. Let me see. I like this one just because I thought it was a neat effect as well. Let me get out the pile of armor. So here you have a pile of armor. And we all know how it is. You're running your game and it's like, hey, can we, you know, take the armor off and put it down? How much fun would it be like, okay, your players took off their armor because, you know, it's a long rest. Set it down to the side to remind them, like, you don't have your armor on, and then, you know, maybe you might sneak something in on them during one of the watches. Just saying. Just hinting. But the reason why I wanted to show you this piece especially is because you can see it's not just a matter of everything's been painted the same colored metal. You have different tones of metal within this pile, which in my opinion very much sets the scene. And you have things like the helmets, chainmail, shields, boots, even gauntlets in there, and swords. It's a pile of armor. So I think that's a great little detail to have. So you can, again, place it onto your terrain, remind your players, hey, the armor is off, or maybe they find some armor because they, you know, went in and they attacked the camp and they won the, you know, the battle. And this is something they could pick up, and you can share with them what they found after the fact when they go to search the campsite. So that's another bit that I really appreciate in this one. Yeah, Leonardo, I think this is honestly one of those pieces where, because of everything that comes in this too, I will actually, let me read that off to you. Because this one comes with so many bits. Let me just rattle off here while I show you. So you have the 3 wedged tents to lean-tos for bedrolls, which I'm going to show you a couple of those, packed bedrolls, fire pit, spit with rabbit, fish on a stick, pot of stew, piles of gear, one horse, one hitch post, stacked pile of chopwood, haphazard pile of chopwood, I'll show you those as well, stump with an axe in it, 2 lanterns, 2 chests, 1 gem pile, gold pile, guard dog, camp table, 1 2-wheeled cart, and 4 four-legged stools. There really is a lot in here. And so many of these pieces can also be used in different settings, not just in a camp. That again, I think it speaks to all the great details in here. So let me, said I wanted to show you the wood piles. You missed my silliness? What silliness? I am a perfect, as she makes faces, I'm a perfect professional. So here's a wood pile. And I think this is a great one. Because you have that sort of, you can tell it's just sort of thrown together, freshly chopped. Someone was in the midst of getting a wood pile ready to go. And let me just move that around so you can see the textures of the bark on the logs. So here we go. So you have the texture on the bark on the log as well as the texture of the split wood. You see the grain of the wood on the split wood and you see the bark texture here. Those little, every little bit counts, quite frankly, in my book. There, that really shows it off. So that's the sort of just mixed pile of wood. Let me show you the stacked one. I don't know if the encampment comes unpainted. I have not heard word of that. So here it is with the wood pile stacked, not just thrown onto the ground after being freshly chopped. And mind you, because this was a big thing in the past, stacked properly with the bark up to protect the wood and keep it drier. But look at this. You see, and I think this is, again, this is the stuff you'll see me go gaga over. You have the circles from the tree rings. That's what I want. The tree rings in there. Little extra touches, I'm telling you. Let me switch over to, I said those bedrolls I wanted to show you. And those, hold on, it's a lid over a lid. Oh, that was loud. So here we have, so there's your table, your stools, the treasure piles, the chests, which you can obviously put the treasure piles into the treasure chests. Rolled up bedrolls there. Look at these lanterns. See, it's that transparent, translucent plastic again. You have your little stack there. The rabbit on the spit, the fire again. All those wonderful, excellent details. Here's the axe in the stump. Isn't that fun? I think that's so well done. So there's that bit in there. You have these are halberds, right? Got your pile of those. And here are the bedrolls, which I want to take one of each out. You get 2 of each of these. So 2 different styles of open bedrolls. Let me show these to you. So here are the bedrolls. And again, it is that worn fabric. It doesn't look shiny and new because, let's face it, stuff for a camp really wouldn't have that shiny look for it unless they just purchased everything. But you see, there's even stitching work that you can see, especially on this one. A little patch. But I wanted you to see those, and the backs are that. So it's the same thing front and back, which is great. So you can change your angles of approach here. So see? Just like that. So those are the bedrolls. Spread out. But that's the encampment. Again, that is coming out, not October. We're not in October yet. Good grief. What month are we in? September. That's coming out September 23rd. So next week, you still have time to pre-order it. FLGS, let them know you're interested, or go online if FLGS is not an option. So those are all the sets that I wanted to share with you from our 4D setting lines. Now keep in mind, we will have more of these sets coming out, many of them fantastic for setting scenes for you for your terrain, coming pre-painted, ready to use right out of the box. And as we get those in, I'm going to make sure that I share these with you here so you can get a more up-close personal look at them and ask any questions you might have about them as I'm showing you the various pieces. And if there's something you especially want to see, again, let me know in the chat. In fact, let me just quickly do a zoom. Can I show the items? How about towards the end, I will show you the gas station one more time in the blister so that you can get a closer look at that, Mike, okay? What I want to do now is flip over to our WarLock tiles because I promised in the description that we are going to be working with the WarLock tiles. Now, in case you missed the announcement, there is a new set of clips that are coming out, and these are called the Easy Clips. And yes, I need to take another sip of tea before I start getting all raspy and can I take your order, hun? So, quick sip. Oh my God, is it November yet? My allergies aren't killing me. So these new clips are called Easy Clips, and they will be available soon. They're slotted for release in October. And it's one of those things you can order them online when available and everything like that. And they will be appearing in future WarLock sets. So do keep that in mind. Basically what happened is when the first grouping of clips were created, I'm getting out both right now. The design factor was thinking of, and I understand both sides of this coin, having made terrain myself and used terrain in my own encounters and setups. The first clips were used to make sure that you could keep your builds stable and ready to go, so it's something you could build ahead of time and pull it out and put it on the table, no problem whatsoever. It turned out though that along with that style of build or terrain, people were also looking for a quicker transition and quicker build option for the WarLock tiles. And when that was something that came about, it was back to the drawing board, and then we had another clip created, and that is the Easy Clips. So these are clips that work a little bit more easily. They're something, and I'll show you the difference soon. And it's something where, here's the Easy Clip, and here is the standard tile, not tile, clip. And there are subtle differences to them because they have different purposes, is really what this is boiling down to. Depending on your style as a GM, DM who uses terrain. If it's something where you want to make your terrain ahead of time, know it's going to be stable and super secure and you can move it around multiple times without it falling apart on you, that it's going to last. So if it's something like, you know, you have an important tavern that you know your players are going to keep going back to, you can build this tavern and that tavern is staying put. That's where you're going to want to make sure you're using the clips that came with the set, the original WarLock Tiles clips. If it's something where you're one of those DMs who prefers to set things up on the fly and you want to get something quickly built during break time, tell your players, okay, go take 10, and you take your 10 to build the next scene and rearrange all your tiles and everything, then that's where you're going to want these Easy Clips. Okay? So this is just something to keep in mind for this one. And I cannot speak to HeroClix for the WarLock for the HeroClix, Mike. But you could feasibly still use them. It's just a matter of the bases kind of, I'm not quite sure how that would add up in terms of the inch grid going with the actual bases of the HeroClix. Something to keep in mind there. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Like I said, when they were first built, and we're gonna go to overhead here. When they were first created, not the first built. In the first creation, first permutation, the whole point was to have it so that you could get rooms set up ahead of time. And I have a system of rooms that I've created. So here I am able just to pick everything up, and because I've used the standard clips, okay, they're very stable, you can move them around, and this just means I can, this is where I also need to fix my zoom, hold on, focus down, there we go. So these are all built using the standard clips that came with the package. Ooh, sorry about that. So you can see it's just a matter of picking up and placing pieces. All right. So I'm gonna have it where my players, and I've kind of taken sort of the old Baldur's Gate video game style approach here. Your players come in and here's the first room. They have an encounter of some sort here. Then you can phase into, they get into the next section of the hallway and you could put that hallway down. All right, well now they're in here and they're gonna either move forward, but then oops, turns out there are two separate rooms. And you can have those two separate rooms ready to go where, hold on, one goes there, one goes there. And this is where I'm showing you the system where it's everything was built up ahead of time. And you can put those rooms down, and then finally they get through those two rooms. You can have it set up for the larger room at the end where you can get the scene set with, you know, whether it's a huge encounter, whether it's sort of an RP counter, whatever you choose to do there. Now, let me just quickly check the, yep, okay, so question, heard that the easy clips are going to be standard. Yes, they will be included in the future sets. Like I just said, the easy clips will be included. So now that we're talking about these easy clips, and you see what I mean about being able just to have these rooms set up and ready to go, I want to show you the difference with what happens when you use each of these clips, because that's key. Again, something to keep in mind. So I'm going to lift up my hallways, put them over here, and we're going to take a look at these two side rooms, because one has been built with the standard clips, the other one is built with the easy clips. Now, like I said, the standard clips were created, and this is standard clip. They were created, and I'm going to flip back up to overhead here, or main screen. They were created so that you can pick them up, and they are a steady hold, okay? So they're secure, they're nice and secure. Now, I have built the mirror image room using the easy clips, and this is where you're going to see the slight difference. This is the new easy clips, so you have more of a bend to it. They're a little bit more floppy, I guess, but there's reasons for that. So you can see there is a little bit of a difference in stability here, but that's to be expected, because to have that really secure, firm hold, that's where I recommend using the standard clips. If you want to do your quicker builds, and we're going to see this in action because we're going to have fun and build a room in just a second with the new easy clips. You can see it does have a little bit of wiggle to it, but it is faster to put a room together using these in comparison to these. So a lot of it boils down to the prep work you're going to put in as a DM ahead of time. Are you going to have your room set up, ready to go, so you can do what I just did and basically lay out your whole encounter scene by scene by scene? Or is it something where you want to have a scene created, regroup, come back in after a break and have the new room going? And that's where those easy clips are going to be more conducive to that type of layout. Let's see here. I'm not sure, Joseph, if the encampment is going to be an unpainted set. The current set that is coming out next week, that is a pre-painted option. So what we're going to do now is let me get some things moved out of the way. I want to show you these clips and how they function. And this is where I'm running out of space. 1 second. That is the sound of all those blisters just falling off the side of my bench. Still, totally cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my town and village. I have all my tile stuff stacked over here. No, honey, come back. Focus. Hi, there we go. So I'm going to take out my town and village. This is the first set. Now again, here are the original clips. Now here are my baggies of the new clips. So what I want to do is I'm going to take out some tiles here. Let's do that. Let's get some corners. We want to make this a bigger room? What are we thinking here? What could be a fun room to put together? Oh, thank you for joining us, Mike. Thank you so much. Hopefully you can join us next week. And I have some fun announcements too at the end of this one. So just keep that in mind. There's some cool things I want to share with you soon. Let's do that. We're going to do, what do I say we make this sort of like a cottage? I'm going to build it a cottage. So I'm going to want these 4 corners. I think I'm going to do it so the front door is sort of stuck out a little bit more. So let me take these. Probably going to want a few of the side walls. Just kind of prepping as we go here. Pull out some of those. Or actually, maybe do a window wall. Pull that guy out. I'm probably going to need a couple more clips here. All right. Maybe we'll do a door. So right now I'm just kind of pulling, and let me put this back over to the side. Right. And over we go. All right, so here you're going to get to see the clips in action. And just for the sake of review, let me show you how the original clips work, so you can see the comparison. There is a trick to putting the clips in. What I am seeing a lot of, what I am seeing a lot of online when people go to use these is they try and do this force and push, which really is not how these work. And you are going to tear up your fingers, and it is going to be very difficult to get them to where you want them to go because of the approach that you might be taking with these. So let me do that. So when it comes to using, again, this is traditional clips, the original clips that came with the sets. To work with these, and you know what? I am going to bring these back up focus wise. Give me just a second. Hello. There we go. So the way it works for these, and there is already a video on the YouTube channel, but just in case you haven't seen that yet, let's look at it again here. So when you have your tile, you will see these 3 openings right through here. 1, 2, 3. You want to work in your middle. So going in with the middle one, you simply push the clip in and notice these notches, okay? You see these 2 notches. You're going to push the clip in to those first rows of the notches, okay? So you actually have this little M that peeks out. See that? Once you have that in place, you're going to tip down and it angles in, push up, and there you go. That's how those clips insert. All right, and then when it goes to attaching another tile, sort of the same thing. Push into that, down, and up, and it locks into place. And it's a very secure lock. The other thing people have been mentioning is but what about taking it apart? Reverse your steps. So just basically tip it, and it opens up that way to pull off the first piece. I basically just bent it down. And remember, these are very strong too. I know people are worried about breaking them, but to pull these out, all you have to do is just tip down. You hear that click? Push up, pull out. So that's how the clips work in reverse. You just basically reverse your motions there. That's how these guys, the original ones, function. And I'll put the new one next to it. So here is the new one next to it. Now these aren't the final look of the new ones. I believe they're going to be blue as opposed to gray. And what I'll do is I'll show you them side by side here. These are a little bit thicker in profile than these are. That's another sort of thing to keep in mind. So now what you're going to do is with these, it's a little bit more straightforward, and this is how they get to be a quicker build. So with these, they quickly just pop in, and again, pop in. To take apart, just like that. So that's where you can see the speed factor coming into play. I'll do it again. Just press in, press in. If anything, these function more in the way that most people were anticipating how they worked with the other clip styles, where it was just, I don't want to say shove it in, where it's just push it in one side, push it in other side. But remember, there is a little bit of more play in here because the new clips have a flexibility to them. All right, they're not as rigid as the original clips. But for those of you wanting those quicker builds, that's kind of key. That's something you want to be able to have. Hey, Puddin' Tame, how you been? Nice to see you joining us. How's it going? So that is how the new clips work, all right? Very straightforward, and these will be coming out soon. You can get them online, and they work with the WarLock tile system. So now let's have some fun and put a room together. So I'm kind of picturing this nice little farm cottage, and I'll pull out some other things too so we can dress it up once we have that going. So what I do, and this is what's helpful with tiles, I don't start assembling with the clips quite yet. I like to do the layout first. Hello, Miguel, thank you for joining. Oh, just in case, I just saw your question. Will there be any hazardous terrain released in the future? Lava, acid, ice, etc. There are some very cool, do you mean in settings or do you mean in WarLock? Well, actually for both. There's some very cool options coming down both pipelines. I'm not at liberty to explain or reveal what all of those are because, you know, a lot of it is still in production, in process, trying to figure out, will this concept work? Does it need to go back to the drawing board? But I can say that there are some fantastic sets that I am personally, as a terrain maker, excited to see them create and have come out. So keep your eyes peeled, and I'm going to do what I can here on Mini Mayhem and make those announcements for you. So what I like to do is, first of all, make sure everything's back in focus on my table. Isn't that better? Okay, so here we have the table. When it comes to creating the rooms with your tiles, I find it's much easier to sort of play around first before putting it all together. So I'm going to use the plaster walls, but I want to have fun, and I actually want to use the stone floor. So I'm going to just play around here. And again, the cool thing about the stone floor here is that, oh, I changed the focus. There are different styles for these stone grid. So it's not something where your eye is going to start matrixing and picking up the pattern. There's enough variety to how each of these tiles are laid together stone-wise that your eye won't be like, that's the same, that's the same, that's the same, that's the same. You get that nice organic look to the layout, and you still get the grid, which for those of you who use grid, I think it's fantastic. Personally, I tend to float less on the grid. I'm more of the DM who will set the scene and go eyeball mode, but also because building terrain, you kind of get your eyes used to certain, this is about 6 inches, this is about 12, this is about, you know, that type of thing. So I tend to not worry about using grid because for me personally, I like that it is more immersive, but because of that, I like the way these tiles have been done because it doesn't glaringly jump out at you, hi, I'm a grid! It really doesn't. All right, so I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna do a 9 by 9-ish, maybe, she says with a question mark in her voice. And then what if we do like a little offset? So this is what I'm doing. I'm sort of planning and plotting ahead of time. Yeah, I like this shape. So I'm gonna do this shape. And then that means I need to start figuring things out. So here are my inner corners. Remember the inner corners, they have this going on. All right, so that's so they can clip in. So let me put this guy here as a space holder. We'll put you there. I think I'm gonna wanna put, I love the double doors because they open and close. And oh yeah, don't forget, when you see stuff like this, you have these great caps. So if you see stuff like that and you want it closed up, you can put one of these in there. Like say you were just gonna set the door down instead of locking it in. You just put this in. Hold on. What's going on here, honey? Oh wait, no, hold on. Here. You can, it's not on the doors, it's on these. So you can pop that in and you get a nice finished edge going there. So anyways, non sequitur. So I'm gonna put this door in. I'm gonna place my door here. And oh, yeah, that's a reminder to me. I need to make sure I get, don't forget we have these pillars. So that's gonna go. And I'm showing you what I do for a prepped room, okay? This is where I am taking the time ahead of time to get things set out. Now this is one of my outer corners, and the outer corners you know because you have the openings on the inside. Place that there. Let's put a window in. And for those of you who may not know, the windows have a fun feature too. They actually pop off. I don't know if people realize this, but the windows can be switched around. So that's just something to keep in mind. So if you wanted to have sort of a more straight up look on your outer wall, you could do that with the finish on the inside for a more ornate interior, or pop it off and then switch it around like so. And then you have the more simple interior with the decorative exterior. In case you didn't know that your tiles did that, they do that. All right, I'm gonna put a window there. Actually, I'm gonna grab another window. And I'm gonna put another window. Let's put it over there. But this is what I do. This is how I get my tiles going to figure out how I'm gonna set things up. So let's do that, which means I need another wall here. The corner pieces are so super helpful. And I will encourage you, especially if you've gotten these tiles, the expansion packs are so helpful because you get those extra bits like more corner pieces, more exterior walls themselves, even interior walls and doors and everything like that. So if it's one of those things you really know you're going to be building a lot of different rooms and you need more of the wall setups, the expansions, huge thumbs up. Oh, let's put, I want a door. I want a door at the back. All right, so I'm going to put a door at the back. And then I need one more, looks like I need one more wall piece, which means I'm going to need one more pillar to go right there. Okay, so this is the basic layout of my floor and how I'm going to put it together, which means I'm going to put these pieces away at least. Hello, Goblin Katie. How are you doing, my dear? All right, put those there. Hooray! Whee! We're going to visit this soon once I get everything put together. So then what I do, this is if I'm in prep mode, but as you can see, you could almost just leave this as is for a really quick build, if you wanted to do it that way, and still manipulate and use the pieces and get your miniatures in there and everything like that. But I am going to put these together so you can see these tiles in action. And what I do is I just sort of shift everything away like so, and then I'll start putting my rooms together. And I'm going to show you how I do this, because I have found that this is sort of the most efficient and effective way when I've gone to build rooms. And I break it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my first row here. Okay, taking my first row. Let me get some clips out here. Oh, you know, let's just form out. You traitor, no, original. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this popped together as a row. Okay, and you get to see this in time. Again, these are the easy clips. All right, I'm purposely using the easy clips. So here's one row set, ready to go. Pop. I'm going to do the same thing. Ba-bump. And ba-bump. Second row assembled. We should have put a timer on this, right? But there is a marked difference in how quickly these will snap together. Here's my third row. I'm going to take these two and do that. And again, it's important, make sure you are working in that center piece there, okay? That center opening. You can put them in other spots, especially if you want to reinforce. You could, like I'll show you. I'm going to put two in like this. Okay, so I'm going to put two in to reinforce my edges. But just keep in mind, when you do it like this, you will not be able to insert your wall pieces in. It is important if you want to do those interior walls that you have that opening. Let's get it so we can see. It's important you have that so that you can slot it into space. If you have the double stack, like I'm going to show you for just reinforcement purposes, you won't be able to put a wall there. Just a little nod towards the, you know, heads up. So then what I do is once I have my rows set up, I start to assemble the rows together. And you can see how just putting in the two, it does give a little bit more reinforcement. So just keep that in mind. And I'm going to, yeah, I do want to make sure that I don't double up there, because I'm going to put a room over here. So I'm purposely not double stacking on this corner, but I will on the other because I know that's not getting walls. Okay, and then I'm going to put one in the center here. Line everything up again. Pop, pop. This is going to be a harder pop. Pop. So there you go. You see our room floor is getting put together. Let's see here. Let me just quickly... Excited to see what is to come. Negative space. That's interesting. And now I'm going to put on that last row. Again, because I know I'm going to do something with walls, I'm not going to go... Actually, let me just double check myself here. With this one I can, because I know I'm not going to have a wall there. I will do my double stack here. Center post. And two on the end here as well. And then matchy matchy. Everything up. Click, click, click. You will need to very much be sure with the easy tiles that you have everything inserted into the hole, because what you could do is feasibly misfire if you're not careful. And what I mean by misfire, you don't want to have the clip straddling like that. That's not how you use the clip. Just keep that in mind, okay? Don't have the clip. The clips aren't meant to straddle, they're meant to insert inside like that. Just a little tip, because I have been seeing that too. All right, so I have my floor established. Now what I do is I start working and putting the walls on. So I'm gonna work this wall, and same thing. For corners, I find it helps to put a double clip in and just pop that into place. But because I have this layout going ahead of time, you'll see...
I need more.
You'll see it's a lot faster for these to get pulled together and put together. And it's very little pressure needed with the new clips. And actually what I'm going to do is another double up, because I have this corner here. Like that. Okay, I wait on the posts because while you're putting this together, sometimes the posts might kind of fly out on you. So wait on the posts, but know you're going to need to put posts in. Does that make sense? Now with the door, I'm actually going to do this just to give it some more stability. I want you to see that there. Pop that into place. And then same thing with this outer wall. I'm doing a corner. Doing a corner. So yeah. So you can see this is starting to take shape for me. And then I'll just move those. And then, because I need more clips, keep shifting it around. I'm just going to go back to doing a center. Let's do this so you can see it. Tip up, don't straddle. Ta-dum! I have another corner piece, so I'm going to do my, actually, let's try this way. We'll do it this way. I do find it, with the easy clips at least, it does help sort of double stack them where you can. For a little bit more rigidity on your wall. And then we have our door. Whoop! That's my bad. There we go. And then, but look, couldn't do that with the other clips. I will say that. That was not an option for the other clips. This is more, I'm trying to keep it in camera and pulled in the wrong direction. That was use your error. And now we're gonna pop the back door on here. Okay, so that is the basic room put together. You can see, I'll hold it up here. It does have a little bit more bend here. So if you wanted further reinforcement, you can do what I did with the side walls, is you could put in more of the clips through here, but that's where you need to be careful about where you're going to insert your interior walls, because you need to make sure if an interior wall is going into a tile, you only have one clip in that center opening. So that's something to very much be aware of. So here we have our room, and now I'm going to pop in ba-dump and ba-dump. And this is what it looks like on the outside. And it does have just a little bit more wobble play, but that's a room that got put together in probably about 10 minutes, I want to say. And then once you have this established, let me get that out of screen. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to put in my walls. And like I said, I have two here. I know I put two in there, so let me show you what happens. See, you cannot put that wall in if you do that. That's why you need to be aware of where your clips are getting plotted. But I know here on this one, I put the clip where it's supposed to go. So your interior wall will now sit flush against the floor, which is what you want. All right, so we have that going. And I know since I put all these together with just the one in the center, I can put my door there. And then I can put my other wall there. So now I have this farmer's cottage with the main room, and we'll call it a bedroom. His little bedroom towards the side with a window and everything. So let's have some fun. I'm gonna pull out some more. Yeah, let's use dungeon dressings. This is this is how I store my little pieces. My little pieces in Tupperware. Yes, you absolutely could, Leonardo, set up a barn-like setup. That's what I really like about the town and village ones. You can get more into the country-esque or town-esque setups. It's not all stone walls, dungeon, castle, tower type of stuff. You very much can do the farmer's cottage. You could do the inn. You could do sort of like the town hall when you use the town and village stuff. And there's so many more exciting new things coming along the way. Full height walls are actually available for pre-order now. If you go to the link in the description below, the one that's WizKids.WarLock, no, WizKids.com/WarLock, that will take you to the WarLock line, and you can get your pre-orders in for that next set. It's the WarLock 2 line is what we're calling those. So keep that in mind. Full height 2 inches, so you can get the full variety and also more of like the stackability if you wanted to do various levels. Because your girl is talking a lot. All right, so I have, this is the dungeon dressings from WarLock Tiles. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out the bed, And let's put the bed over here. So here we have his bedroom set up. I think he might have a chair in his room, don't you think? So let's put a little chair by the window. Yeah, I like that. I like him having a chair in there. I can only assume he probably has some sort of barrel in there for storage. So I'm going to take out one of the barrels from the dungeon dressings, and I'm going to put on the wood lid. I'm not going to have it so it looks like wine, or I think it's acid, but they have like these lovely little lids you can put on. And let's put that over here. Probably is going to want a place to sit and have his meals, or their meals. It could be a family. We'll see. All right, so I'm going to just... Now I'm getting to interior decorator mode. Forgive me. All right, so let's put that in there. I'm going to use the benches. So as you can see, it really does start to set the scene just by adding in this little bit of scatter terrain that comes with these. Oh, the crate. Let's put a crate in there. And put a crate. What else could be fun in here? Oh, wait, changing my mind. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use one of the tables instead. So let's do this. We're going to use the tables, and we'll do the 4 chairs. And I'm going to put this guy in the bedroom as sort of like a little stool for him. Stool or end table, really. 1, 2, 3. Where's my 4th chair? Here it is. There we go. Okay, so we have that table in there. What else could be fun to put in here? Let me... What could be a fun thing to add to this? I'm looking. Oh, I know. I'm going to the encampment now. I'm pulling out one of those I'm pulling out the rolled up bedrolls. So I'm just going to put a couple of the bedrolls here. This is why I like these little detail pieces. And, oh, let's give it a puppy. I want them to have a puppy. So we're going to take the dog out. Not for a walk. So again, this is the dog from the Encampment Set. We'll put a dog in there, because why not? And, ooh, on the table, I'm going to put one of the lanterns. I really like that. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so we have the lantern on there now. And then, how about outside? Probably the back door. I'm going to put the axe in the stump. All right, so this sort of gets the scene set with a farmer's cottage. And again, I just use pieces from both the dungeon dressings from WarLock Tiles as well as the encampment, which is coming out next week. So I have this whole room. I'm going to see if I can zoom in for you so you can see a little bit better. And I know it's overhead, which... Why did my calendar just pop up on me? I know it's overhead, but... Here we go. No, focus. So you can see you have this great little scene set up and ready to go. Just like that. And it's probably been about 20 minutes all said and done for this. And I'm going to take out some Wardlings just so you can see these in situ. Okay. Oh, hello, Mike. You've returned. So now I'm going to take... These are the Wardlings. If you haven't seen the Wardlings before, they are adorable. So I'm just going to put some minis around here, and you can see how it looks with minis inside. They've got their magic going. But you can see they sit nicely into that grid. And the other great thing, which I didn't mention before, but I have mentioned in previous videos, all around the edge of the exterior walls, there's this little notch. Let me grab one. There's this little notch that's taken out right here. This is important. This is significant. This is there for reason and thought. This is so that when you go to put miniatures in, it'll actually make it so that their base can lip into that opening and still sit, as you can see, nicely into a square and not take up excess space and start overlapping like you'll sometimes see where they start encroaching upon each other's personal space. So that is what that little indentation is about on all of your exterior walls. Another thing to mention about these tiles. And how about there's a ghostie. I love these. Little ghostie in the bedroom. She's been haunting the farmer, and that's why the farmers brought the adventurers in. But that basically shows you, I'm going to leave it with that because there's so much I could do here. Wardlings, says Leonardo. So again, this shows you how you can very easily, especially with the new Easy Clips now, get a room set up and ready to go for an encounter for your players. And I should take a picture of this. Where did I put my phone? I'm going to take a picture of this and I will share it later for everyone to see, because the tricky part is trying to get the camera angle right for a different angle. And trust me, I've been trying. I don't have the space is the issue, but I'm going to take a picture of this and I will share this build for all to see. You're getting proof that I'm doing it. That shot may be blurry. Okay, fine. Let's try it again. There we go. So I'm going to take a couple shots of this so you can see more how it looks. There we go. And with the new Easy Clips, it's definitely a faster build. But if this were to say, be a cottage that you know your adventuring party is going to continue to return to for whatever reason, I quite frankly would recommend that you put this together using the traditional clips, because those will be more stable and help you so you can actually, I'm going to be very careful about this right now, you can lift it up and move it around more easily. I'm having to be very careful right now to make sure that I'm not lifting it up and not supporting the corner areas, because otherwise it might flop over and things are going to flail around. Simply because it's a thinner plastic and it's a more flexible plastic when it comes to those clips. Oh, you're waiting for your copy of the Wardlings books, Leonardo. That's fantastic. Have fun with that. Seriously, enjoy. But that's a room put together, start to finish, using those Easy Clips. Lots of fun to do. Very excited for them, and I think people will very much appreciate their utility and their ease when it comes time to actually working with these at the table, especially if you're more an on the fly terrain builder as a DM GM. All right, so just a little bit of note there. That being said, don't forget, pre-orders for WarLock Tiles 2 are up. That's the full height 2 inch walls. I don't have a set on me, otherwise I would very happily show you. As soon as I do get a set, I will make sure we share them here so you can see the difference and I'll compare and all that loveliness. Let me flip up to main screen. And the encampment comes out on the 23rd, so you can still get your pre-order in there. And again, there's lots of great, wonderful little pieces to really add nuances to your scene building, as you just saw, like being able to add that lantern in. Oh my gosh, so much fun. I love that on the table. It just sort of gives it like that, oh, it's nighttime, warm glow, and gives you those visual cues as the DM, as the GM, of what you can be relaying to your players as well, which I think is fantastic. Plus they can see that, and then it becomes a piece they can use, you know, improvised weapon. I hit him over the head with a lantern, things like that. That being said, I have something fun I want to share with y'all, and it is terrain related. So I don't know if you've gotten word of this yet. I did share with you a couple weeks ago the stone bridge, which is out and available now. So if you haven't seen that yet, do be sure to check out the previous stream where I show you the stone bridge. Again, that's another 4D settings setup in our line. But there is something coming down the pipeline for D&D, and it is the tower. So if you haven't seen this tower yet, here we go. So there is going to be this thing called the D&D Icons of the Realms, the Tower. It is available for pre-order now. So contact your FLGS. Let them know this is something that is piquing your interest. And yes, this is something I will be sharing here on the stream as well. I just need to get a hold of it, is what it's boiling down to. But you can see what this looks like, and it is stunning, okay? As one who has built towers of my own, going down to individual bricks of foam, I'm not even kidding. A lot of that nuanced detail has been put into the sculpt of this tower, and is something where it is multiple levels. You can stack on top of each other. You can see it right through here in this photo. It's going to cycle through these same, I think it's 7 photos that I have right now of it. But really an incredible piece. Definitely a piece to devote to your terrain if you are big into using terrain for your encounters. And this just sort of gives you a preview of it. So it is up, available for pre-order now. MSRP is $249.99. And I know that's a steeper price, but if you look at this, you could use this as 3 separate entities. You can stack it as to one tower with 1 layer or 2 layers, 3 layers type of thing. It has a lot of modular factors to it, which I think are just perfection. So I wanted to give you all a little heads up. Yeah, I'm looking at the comments right now. Yeah, wanted to give you a heads up that this is something that is now floating around out there and is available to purchase for pre-order. So if this piques your fancy, if this is something where you truly love adding unique pieces to your terrain, it's really beautifully done. And again, this is coming as a terrain builder myself, okay? The details and those little aspects, I'm crazy about. Like even the stones have texture to them. The windows have these little extra, it's just beautifully done. So know about that. I'm going to do what I can, see what I can get to show this to you up close and personal. That will definitely be a very special feature so I can show you all the great bits and pieces that go into it. And then the other thing is, I might have a friend joining me of a monstrous type of persuasion, hopefully soon, in the next couple weeks at least. So our Vee Mus'e, our lovely grand dame, the the ancient dragon, the white one, not to be confused with the adult white that is out right now with the Icewind Dale line. These are 2 separate dragons. We have the adult white dragon, but then there's our Vee Mus'e that is coming out as well. That is available for pre-order too. FLGS online. Check it out. Links below. I try to make sure you have all the links you need in the description. So yes, I'm going to see if we can get that lovely grand dame here so I can show her off to you. And you can really get an up close and personal look at her as well. If the stars align, I am hoping, we shall see. I'm hoping I can have both tower and our Vee Mus'e here so I can show you the big pieces, because quite frankly, my studio lighting and camera work is going to need to get situated for all of that. So that's just a little sneak peek tease, just letting you know for funsies. As for next week, here's what you can expect. Next week, we're going to be doing a Magic the Gathering focus for the beginning. I have some amazing plushies I can't wait to share with you all. They have been up for pre-order and soon to be released. So if you haven't seen those yet, make sure to get over to WizKids.com, check with your FLGS about these funnies. But I'm going to show these 4 to you next week, as well as talk about, I don't know if you heard about the new Chandra statue, but she is also up and out for release. So that, or pre-order, I should say. So that's another one we're going to talk about next week in a little bit more detail. And then after that, ears open, everyone. Listen, please. So going back to my teaching years, I'm going to be painting a flump from the D&D Nolzur's Marvelous Miniatures Wave 12. I thought it'd be fun to do some miniature painting here on Mini Mayhem because, it's still mini related. So if you want to paint along with me, you're going to want to make sure you get a hold of the Flumps set. Is it Flumps? I think it's Flumps. So you get 2 of those in there. And I'm going to be sitting here painting up a flump to look like a jellyfish sprite, which is like this cool weather effect thing. If you know me from my own channel, I like to refer to nature for color inspiration. So basically it's going to be a flump with sort of like red accents and glow detail to it. But yeah, I'm planning on painting a flump next stream. So please feel free to join me and we can have some fun with that. I'm going to make a point of using my Vallejo paints. So that way, for those of you who have those paints at hand, you can grab the same paint. If it's something where you want to use your craft paints, I'll also make sure to use terms that will apply towards your craft paints instead. And yes, you can paint your miniatures with craft paints. It is completely doable. I do it quite often myself. So that is the plan for next week. And I think I hit all the high notes. All right, everyone. You have been fantastic. You've stayed with me for, wow, almost an hour and a half today, and it's probably gonna be the same thing next week. So that all being said, thank you so much for joining me today here on Mini Mayhem. I am Vee Mus'e, and I am so happy I was able to show off all these fantastic details to you. Mike, I know you asked me to show you the gas station, but it's way over there. It actually slid off in the cascade of blisters from my bench. But I will see if I can get some pictures for you, Mike, and I'll share it on socials. If you haven't discovered our socials yet, again, check in the description below. You can find us on Twitter, you can find us on Instagram, you can find us on Facebook, obviously here on YouTube, and all those other bits of loveliness going on. My voice is going quickly, So I should stop chattering away, and I'm going to close this up like I like to do every single week. Please be sure to contact your local FLGS, your local LGS? Good. Please be sure to contact your FLGS if any of these have caught your attention and you want to place an order. Reach out to them. Many of them are working with the different restrictions that are going on now because, you know, the world. Some of them are doing curbside pickup. Some of them are even shipping to home. So reach out to them first. If that is not an option for you, then by all means, please be sure to check things out online. Links in description, which you can find out where you can go, whether it's to find a local game store or whether you want to find a source online for purchasing these items. I have made sure that you have the list of what has been featured here, along with their SKUs as well as their pricing, suggested pricing. And until next week, be good to yourselves and be good to each other. Until then, everyone, I'll see you on the flip side. Bye!